The Trail 103.3, KDTR Florence, Missoula, and Trail1033.com. I'm Tracy Lopez, your host today, and sitting in the studio with one of my favorite funk bands of all time. This is Galactic. Hi, Galactic.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
What an intro. I like that.
I know. I'm excited you guys are playing tonight. It's going to be a killer show. Every time I've seen you here, it's been sold out, and it's been packed wall to wall with people getting sweaty and having a funky good time. So.
And you must have just come to the last time then.
It wasn't always like that.
It wasn't always like that.
It hasn't always been sold out.
We built it up.
Yeah.
We built it up.
Yeah, for good reason, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys play great music. I've been shouting you out on the Saturday Night Soul Shakedown for a couple months now, and I'm happy to have you here.
Thanks.
So tell us about this new album.
Well, the new album is it's an album I think we've kind of had in the back of our minds for a while, which was to get some of our favorite and most admired New Orleans, Louisiana artists to come collaborate with us and kind of do a completely New Orleans focused record where we've worked with a lot of guests over the years and different vocalists and stuff. And obviously the last record had a lot of MCs on it, most of whom were not from New Orleans. But with this record, we really kind of just wanted to bring it home. And you know, we had our wish list, and we were lucky enough to actually get most of the people on it. And, you know, after all these years who, maybe at this point in our career, actually, we could get an Alan Toussaint or Irma Thomas to come sing on a track with us. And so we did, and we got, a lot of great people, and then some people that outside of New Orleans maybe aren't as well known, some of the bounce rappers. And we had this crazy idea that we were going to put all this stuff together and somehow make it make sense and just put it out there as really, it's still all New Orleans music, and it's all, the funky good time that you alluded to earlier.
I'm all about the funky good time. So, yeah, Irma Thomas, I mean, she's been around forever, and she's just quintessential to New Orleans music.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
She's one of the legends, for sure, of New Orleans music. We reached out, we made a phone call, and,
Stanton had actually recorded on
yeah, that's
her
right.
album.
Stanton had worked with her, our drummer.
Okay.
So that
helped.
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
helped. I think basically Stanton just called her.
Yeah.
And said, hey, we want to do this album. And
Hey, Irma.
Yeah. Hey, Irma.
Exactly.
You want to come by the studio and sing something?
But no.
Yeah, same thing with Alan, really. Irma and Alan, they live in New Orleans, and they're neighbors, and they're back home too. I think Alan spent a while in New York after Katrina, but he's got a house up there on Robert E. Lee, not very far from where I live. So
Great.
I even went by and dropped off some session files for him and sat down in his little studio room with him while he played some piano tracks, and it's pretty fun getting to kick it at Alan Toussaint's house.
Yeah.
Working on a song for your own record.
You don't get to say that very often.
No, once in a lifetime.
So, are you guys from New Orleans? I believe you're from other places. But,
Yeah. I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area and moved there about 20 years ago now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're actually from all over.
Yeah.
Stanton, the drummer's from New Orleans. And then I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, really? You
Yeah,
in 311.
it's true.
Huh?
That's right.
Yeah. So how did funk become, was it something that after you moved to New Orleans, was it a style or genre that you got into then, or was it something that you always kind of loved?
Well, I was definitely interested in that kind of music, which is why I ended up in New Orleans, which I'm sure Robert would say the same thing. Mm-hmm. And Ben, too, was playing music and was just kind of drawn there, as we all were. And this was 20-some years ago now. And we all kind of found each other playing music around the uptown funk scene in college. We were in school around the same time, Robert and Jeff and Stanton and I. And we found Ben. He was playing around in the New Orleans Klezmer All-Stars and playing with one of the brass bands in New Orleans, the Little Rascals. And so we recruited him, and that's it.
So tell us who's talking right now, because right now we haven't even introduced you yet.
Oh, I'm Rich Vogel. I'm the keyboard player.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm Robert Mercurio, the bass player.
Okay. And you guys have done other things in other bands as well.
Yeah, we've done, everybody's kind of in the band does a bunch of other stuff as well. That's kind of the nature of New Orleans.
Yeah.
There's about, 15 bands down there, and they're made up of the same...
5 people?
5 people, yeah. A lot of people wear a lot of hats down there musically.
Yeah.
And,
well, obviously.
We're exaggerating a little bit, sure, but you get the point.
So, we've all played with a bunch of different people from, I've done some recording with Eric Lindell, who's like a blue-eyed soul artist down there, and play with, another group called Good Enough for Good Times, and another group called Dragon Smoke, and whatever. We all play with. The list goes on.
Yeah. So where did the hip hop come in? Was this a one person's idea or?
No, the truth is, Galactic as a band over the years, we've flirted with the hip hop world to some extent because we just made some connections. We'd done some shows with Jurassic 5 when they were around. We did a show at Jazz Fest with those guys and we met Charlie then, I think, was the first time. So we got to know Charlie Tuna a little bit, and then Lyrics Born.
He's great.
And he's somebody we really go back with, and we toured together a long time ago. Did a whole tour together, so that sort of whatever people are calling it now, alternative hip hop or whatever that world, we've just made friends in over the years, and being out on the road so much. So, and especially those two guys, they were kind of our entree into
very talented, both of them.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
They just
and used to kind of working with a band, setting, kind of.
Right, and kind of exactly. Your ears are open to definitely the live music thing.
Yeah.
And so, kind of starting with those guys, we kind of launched the idea to do the last record, which was more of that. And then, but that record had a few New Orleans-y tracks on it that were kind of pointing the way, I think, towards this, which, there was a couple tracks on From the Corner of the Block that had more brass New Orleans kind of element, or the track with Monk Boudreaux, Mardi Gras Indian Chief, that was kind of, and I think that out of those tracks, we kind of got the idea we could do a whole record like this, and like I said, maybe we can get some of the dream team together
well,
to do it.
The nice thing about your albums too is they're not all the same, and it must be kind of liberating to you guys as artists to be able to cross genres and mix in some stuff. And I know Stan's an amazing percussionist. He's got a solo album out that is really good as well. So it must be kind of nice as artists to be able to do that.
Yeah, it is. We have a very open, who knows what's going to happen kind of thing, and it's exciting because we've been a band for 15 plus years, and it keeps us excited to be able to open up and do whatever we want.
Making friends.
Yeah, making friends and making new music. That's kind of what it's about.
Okay.
We have to keep ourselves interested, or else why would anyone else be interested?
Great. So the album is out now, and it's called Yakame. I said that correctly, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Took me a few times to get it rolling off my tongue, but it's in stores now. You've heard it here on the Trail 103.3. We're featuring a couple songs here. Heart of Stone with Irma Thomas, like we spoke about earlier. And another one with Bo Money is the other track that we're
with the
playing
Rebirth
here.
brass band.
Yeah, the brass thing. Are you guys going to have a brass band tonight?
Well, we have Bo Money himself.
Oh, okay.
Which is Corey Henry, who's a fantastic trombone player who plays with the Rebirth brass band and is on that track and others on the record. So between him and Ben and me playing a few horn parts on the organ, we can cover the brass side of it.
Multi-instrumentalist.
So we make it work. It's not not the full brass band, but we get the point across.
You get enough of it.
You get enough of it. Get the flavor.
And, where are you guys headed next?
We are headed to Washington and then up to the Olympics.
We're going to go play on the mountain in Whistler on Thursday.
The Olympic Village area, I guess, or some sort of après-ski situation.
Is it a venue? I don't know.
No, I think it's one of those out on the slopes, really cool setting, really cold hands kind of gig.
I think I remember seeing a band there last year when I was up there, actually.
Yeah.
It is a cool little setting right there on the hill.
Yeah.
Very cool. Anything else you guys want to say to Missoula before your show tonight?
Excited that we're here, and it's so beautiful out.
What a beautiful day.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that the prettiest day on this tour so far would be in Montana in February, but here we are.
Welcome to
the
Missoula.
Sunshine State.
No, not quite. It's big sky country. Is
There
what
you
it
go.
is.
Yeah,
that's right.
All right,
like
thanks
that
you
better.
guys.
Hope to
That
see you
is
tonight.
Robert and Rich from Galactic, and tickets are sold out at Rockin' Rudy's. I called a few hours ago. So if you want to see the show, which I've been highly suggesting all week long, you need to go to the box office and get there ASAP. Doors open at 7 o'clock. Show starts at 8. Carl Denson's Tiny Universe opening up, and his new album is called My Brother's Keeper, which is another winner. So it's going to be a great show tonight. Thanks again, you guys, for coming in.
Thanks for
Sure,
having
our
us.
pleasure.
All right, we're the
Thanks.
Trail 103.3.